Is it going? Please tell me you're going. Okay, y'all. I hope this shit is going. Yeah, I think it's going. Okay. And y'all, just real quick. Y'all see all these videos I need to upload? Well, I've already done, but I need to upload to YouTube. These over here. I think like 4 over here. 2 or 3 here. Anyway. That I done and I need to upload. Y'all know what we in here about. And let me say this first and foremost. Say that my prayers go out to the family of the young man that was killed in St. Louis. And not only him, but to countless others in their families who have been killed senselessly, whether it be by the police, by some other fool, or, whatever. Because where we are today is just what's going on now is not just about one really individual death. This has been a cooking pot boiling for a long time. And so, I have to include countless others. Trayvon Moore. I mean, there's so many. The man who was choked to death by the NYPD and countless others. I'll go all the way back to the man who, I believe it was in Texas, who was beat and drugged behind a truck until his head fell off. Just all of them. Now, my prayers go out to all the families. And now let's get into the shit of today. And I watched this shit unfold. I seen as it was going on. I knew this shit was going to happen. I knew this was going to happen. What I'm hoping is that this shit does not spill over into other states and things like that. Because then we will have martial law. And none of y'all want that. Understand me. None of y'all want that. None of us want that. No sooner than they're going to implement it. And that's what I'm going to say about that. Some of y'all going to know what I mean by what I just said. And some of y'all not. If you don't, just, look around you. Check what's going on in the world. Take your eyes off reality TV for a minute and look at the true reality of the world and what's going on around you and the powers that be and how things are manipulated and all of that. From the news media to TV to everything. To your iPhone, to your Android, to whatever. So I'm going to move forward and get off of that. And I'm going to give this other disclaimer. Some of y'all not going to like what the fuck I'm getting ready to say. And let me just tell you ahead of time, I don't give a fuck. So, there it is. You can exit stage right motherfucking now. So your feelings won't get motherfucking hurt. Or you can embrace what I'm about to say. And make a change. Either way, I'm going to say it. And I'm going to say what's on my mind. And I'm done with it. When I cut this motherfucking camera off, I'm done. As far as on this subject that I'm about to talk about. So I'm going to give you a second to exit. Or sit your ass still and sit down and listen to what the fuck I'm saying. Okay. Now. This bullshit that's going on, half of these motherfuckers that was looting and doing what they were doing it. This was opportunity. The whole thing that they were there having a peaceful visual about went out the motherfucking door. It just went out the door. It went from being peaceful to this mess. to looking up and seeing shit like bitches posting pictures of weave and shit that they stole out of the motherfucking store. Motherfuckers, videos of motherfuckers with carts stealing meat out of the grocery store and shit that they stole out of the damn Family Dollar and burying this and that and other in their own neighborhood. But they will never, ever, it will never fucking dawn on them, ever, that this is not the way to do it. Turn up your own shit. I've said it 1,000 times. Self-preservation. Now, you want certain people to look at you a certain kind of way. You want white folks to look at you a certain kind of way. Because let's just keep it funky. In our community, most of the time, when people are talking about police, most of the time they are saying, you know, they're making a reference to, you know, police being referenced to white. And the powers that be, and you know, this and that and other. So let's keep it motherfucking funky, and let's don't, you know, deviate from that. So I'm wondering how you think they look at you now. Now you done really showed out and act like just what they've been trying to treat you like. I'm just saying, how did you? What happened? I mean, how did this fix something? I'm curious to know what this actually done, because you were in your community doing it to your little community, to the little shit that they will let you fucking have. You didn't go nowhere where it was going to impact anything. But with that being said, I don't think you should do it anywhere, whether it be in your community or someone else's. What I think is that, you know, it needs to start with us, and it needs to end with us as a community, as people. Because see, they feel like, well shit, they killing each other every motherfucking day. If I do it, shit, what the fuck? You know, with that being said, I do believe that for the most part, the police officers ain't nothing but a big ass fucking game. Now some would say, and I've seen this a lot, that all of this shit kind of coincides to depopulating and this and that and other and the third, you know. Okay, it could be some validity to that shit. But with that said, what does that say about the folks that are talking about it and know about it? I feel like this is what's going on, and you're not reaching out to others, or you're not having your community or whatever. What does that say about you? It's just you, somebody that knows some, I think you know some extra shit. Okay. So you tore the stuff up. You did this, you did that. I'm just not understanding. What was the reason? How did this make the situation any better? With that being said, I wonder, because I gotta think that a lot of the people that live in your community there where this is taking place, a lot of them also work in these places of business that you burnt down. So now what do? You know, to pay their bills or whatever. What do they do? I'm just trying to understand. I will say this, and this is the way I feel. 60% of them that was out there doing that shit was in it, hoping that somebody would set that shit off so I can get me some motherfucking hair. Bitch, I got 3 packages of meat in the motherfucking freezer, bitch. I hope they knock that window out, because I'm going to need, and my damn battery's going down, I'm going to need me some more, you know, some more food or whatever. I ain't been able to get that Brazilian wrap with the goat twist and the purple, bitch. I'm going in there and get that now and shit. We might as well get some cards while we're in Family Dollar, and let's head on over and turn the liquor store up so we can get some drinks so we can smoke. And let's don't forget, when we're inside the grocery store or in the liquor store, let's don't forget to get some Rellos or whatever, some wraps, so we can, you know, smoke the blunt or whatever. Really? Because see, this is what I'm thinking. I do believe it was people out there that were trying to protest. We tired of this. And what I'm saying, I'm not saying this because I don't think the police are wrong. They are wrong. don't even bite into the bullshit. When I go and I read, like on here, MSNBC, when you go and you read the comments, you got at least 50% of the comments are wrote by, white folks. And here's my thing. And some of them are just completely illiterate to the fact that this shit goes on. They merely go on the shit that they see on Fox or on the news or whatever. Like, this type of shit can't dawn on them. But I can't blame that on them, because when you have, always had the upper hand or whatever, not that you asked for it or whatever the case may be, then no, you might not see the police that way. You may not see that if you are, walking down the street, like in my community or whatever, or you go into a store, or if you go into a damn Nordstrom's, motherfuckers looking at you like you all the way out of place, or some shit like that. You might not have that. But we have always had to deal with this, and y'all can't even fathom some of the things we have to deal with. With that being said, I'm going to touch on this and kind of go to Al Sharpton and the whole shit, and the mayor having him there, and the mayor feeling some kind of way about what he said. But what he said was true. Whether he was doing that for political gain or whatever Al was doing. Some people think Al Sharpton's been a talking head for the powers that be for a long time. I don't know what his plight is. But I will say this. Too many times I've heard him, Jesse, and a lot of others say, oh, we're going to get with the NAACP. No. And you don't do shit. But this particular time, Al seemed to rise to the occasion. I don't know why, but he did. And he asked him, it was kind of alluding to, do you think this could ever have happened, to your child, or whatever the case may be? Now, my understanding, I believe, is that the mayor may be married to, I think, a black woman. Now, y'all don't quote me on that. I'll have to do some more research, but I think so. And I'm talking about of New York. But he was saying, your child doesn't have to deal with this or whatever. And I don't know what, the mayor's child has to deal with, but I did understand what he was saying. Now, whether the mayor is mad or not, it is what it is. Finally, some shit got said to y'all, that you needed to fucking hear. Finally, him, Jesse, and a lot of the other ones that are supposed to be our black activists, got their hand out of the cooking jar and decided to do just that. And I'm thankful for that. Do I expect to hear Jesse say a motherfucking thing? Hell no. And most of them, hell no. And I would agree that for the most part, they have been talking fucking heads, and that's it. When I think of the NAACP, child, it ain't nothing but some motherfucking letters. If you're not outstanding and have a GPA of 600.9, or you're not doing some exceptional shit, they don't give a fuck about you. So, to me, in my opinion, now that's my opinion, this is my opinion, remember that. But see, I believe that all of my people are extraordinary. But with that being said, I think all human beings are. Period. It is what it is. So no, when I look on the comments and I see the white folks saying what they saying, part of me is like, well, I guess they ain't here. You ain't had to deal with shit. You innately have the upper hand just from day one, being born white. You know what I mean? Like, I don't give a fuck what nobody say. It is to advantage. Being born black is to the disadvantage from the gate. But with all that said, this is not what we're supposed to do. This right here, this is not what we're supposed to do. You can protest. You can try to change things in your community. A lot of times the shit starts with you within your home. And all of that. Ladies, I'm about to say something to y'all that might fuck y'all the fuck up. And I'm going to say to my black women, I'm going to tell you where I believe it starts. Well, it starts to me with the Lord. But secondly, dealing with humans and down here. Where I really believe it starts is when, us as black women or whatever, we're building up our black men in our community, which is our base. When they broke the family up, y'all, they broke this shit up. Understand that. And we need to try to build that up. Again, instead of, us having all of this black man against black woman and this and that and other, black woman, she too loud, black man too broke, this and that and other, I will say to the women, because I'm a woman myself, we need to be behind our brothers, build them up, and be that help me that we're supposed to be. With that being said, I have to also say this, and y'all, I'm all over the place. I'm going to need y'all to pull that cuckoo back. I'm going to need you to pull the pussy back. Stop throwing it out every fucking draw leg and then complaining when the brother run off, because really all he wanted to do was get a piece of ass. He wasn't looking to have no baby. Now, with that being said, the responsibility of birth control is on both parties, but here is the problem that I have. Because, ladies, you really can have a fucking standard. And I will raise my hand myself, and I've made it abundantly clear. I had my children out of wedlock and wish like hell I had not. But the most beautiful thing out of it is my children. But I wish I had not. I'm saying, pull that shit back so we won't have so many renegade ass children and, this and that and other that's just out here looking for opportunity to loot. I don't even know if half of these young folks even know what they're out there for. I mean, I'm just saying, are they following? Is it clear what this is really about? I'm just asking y'all. I'm just kind of all over the place, and I'm kind of upset with the way this shit is going. I'm upset because I don't want to be looked at as if I'm that person that would do just this thing right here. No, I'm not. I don't want to be, I don't want that. I don't want that for none of my people. On either side, violence is never the answer. I know that the police is dirty. I know they angry. I know that a lot of racist motherfuckers will get that badge just so they can rain down on minorities. I mean, we know this. Ain't no doubt about that. And they can't police themselves. That bullshit of we gonna do an investigation, that ain't shit. And I know that we're tired of it or whatever, but again, it starts with us. We have to start making some changes. We have to stop settling for shit like this. We have to stop thinking it's okay to do this kind of shit. I don't know. From my understanding, the young man, he was unarmed. All kind of lies to me have came out from the police or whatever. Stories changing, this and that and other, but none of us was there other than the people that were out there when it happened. What I do know is that a mother is hurt today because her baby was laid out in that street, and I was hurt right along with her. From my understanding, today should have been his first day of class. I was looking on Instagram, and Candy, Sweet Addictions TV, had a picture of the young man. I believe it was of the young man graduating. Shit that they not going to show of him. What they were eager to show was, and eager to say, is he was black. I've heard people say he might have robbed a store, this and that and other. We don't know any of that. But I didn't see the media saying, hey, this young man graduated and so, which is really, when you think about it, when I hear people say, well, shit, we ought to be happy that the young man graduated high school, shit, tickled to death. That's normal shit. That's really nothing to be elated about. That is normal shit. And going on to college and getting higher education, that's normal shit. But what has happened is that it has declined, so it's like, shit, if a young black man makes it to 18, shit, he done something, shit, I mean, and y'all, I just really don't have any words. When I listened to his mother, and she said, do you know how hard it is for them to graduate, to do so-and-so, to raise his, I don't know, y'all. I just wanted to be there and give her a hug then, because I just can't imagine. I can't imagine her being out there and her baby laying out there for just so many hours the way she was and all of that. the way he was. I just can't. I can't imagine it. I can't imagine any of this shit. I can't imagine a motherfucker killing my child with candy in their motherfucking hand and being out walking today as if it's motherfucking nothing and being used as a funky ass puppet for the NRA. I can't imagine any of that shit. I can't imagine the Emmett Till shit, and I don't even need to go back that far. It's a whole bunch of shit I can't fucking imagine. I can't imagine the young man who was in the damn toy store who was on the phone, had a toy gun. He said it's not real. It's a toy. But they shot him dead. I can't imagine that of being my husband, that they fucking choked to death and he was clearly saying, I can't breathe. I can't. I really fucking can't. But that seems to be the reality of today. You know. And I just, I understand being frustrated, but this shit right here is not the way. This just makes them look at us in that way that we don't want them to look at us, because we not all like that. We're not all gonna do a riot, this and that and other. And with that said, y'all, I do understand that these people are tired. But again, like I said, some of these motherfuckers is just out there, the mob fucking mentality. Now, with all of this shit going on, now we already know they was wrong in my heart for shooting that young man, and I ain't gonna think nothing different. I don't give a fuck who comes on here and leaves a comment and tells me, well, we need to, you motherfucking wait and see what happens. You motherfuckers live in that world and you fucking wait and see what comes out. I know the realness of it. And I know how fucking ornery that can be. But I've always said, it's a lot of orneriness in there, but there are still some good police out there. I just don't understand this. And y'all, don't know if y'all know this, but it was August the 11th when the Watts riots went on. I'm just curious to know if you all knew that when that whole shit went down. And I think this kind of feeds into the whole thing of, people saying, well, this is depopulation and blah, 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 and, all of that. And I'm not going to totally disagree with that at all. I'm not. That's a whole nother fucking video. All I'm saying on this one is this shit has to stop. It's unfortunate that this happened, but then the mother had to come on and say, this ain't what we want. Why don't y'all know that? These motherfuckers would have been running for the motherfucking hills, because I guarantee you this. Because they was already saying they didn't, they were trying to deal with the police and this and that and other. But I guarantee you this, if they needed to, they would have called the motherfucking National Guard, whoever they needed to come and handle this. And I know like motherfucking hell they didn't want to trade bullets with them. I don't give a fuck how many guns you think you got. I'm just saying this could have got all the way out of hand. And this whole thing with, yeah, we mad at what the police do, but you can't motherfucking be like, you just as bad as the motherfucker who shot that young man or who shot Trayvon and the rest of them. If you say, F the whole motherfucking group and get to, trying to do things to people who are innocent, who haven't done anything in this situation but their job. I mean, and I'm speaking of the ones that were there at the riot. Do I feel like those motherfucking police officers that was there when this young man was killed did their job? Hell motherfucking no. You motherfuckers killed that baby. You did it. Just like the motherfuckers in New York, you motherfuckers did it. You dirty motherfuckers, you did it. It is what the fuck it is. And then you New York motherfuckers, y'all had the nerve to get mad and trying to lock people up for videotaping y'all asses, because y'all just had no idea that someone was taping it and cannot believe that your shit was laid out like that. Like, it ain't no one or two ways about that shit. Y'all murdered that man. And this young man was murdered by yet another police officer. I'm just, I just still say that I don't want nobody else to get hurt. And this shit could get ugly real fucking fast. And like our motherfucker said, don't none of us want them to implement martial law no sooner than they plan on doing that thing. None of us. I'm just saying. So I just say, I want to ask, and I want to be like, if somebody asks you right now, and I am going to ask that, if somebody asks you right now, what do you suggest that we can do to try to heal these wounds and all of this? What do you suggest that we do? What would you say? Put that shit below. Let me know. Because I just can't be stuck with, I gotta believe that it's still some humanity left in the world. I do. I know it is because I'm still in it. But I gotta believe it's some other folks that feel this way. This has hurt me to my heart. When the shit went on in LA twice, but the recent shit with Rodney King, it was as hurtful to me to see Rodney be beat. And it was just, the same kind of hurt when the truck driver, when they put him out and beat him like that. He's not the one who hit Rodney. He didn't do any of it. It was merely, yet again, because, you look like them. And again, going back to what I was saying, in our community, a lot of times we equate, whether that's the word or not, it sounds like it works there. Just roll with me. The police with white. We run those two together. We do. Always have. And I don't believe either way should a person be hurt because of their skin color, nothing, because of their sexual orientation. None of that. How you gonna hate and try to kill a motherfucker for being some shit that they can't help but be? Like, you gonna walk and be like, you know what? I'm so motherfucking tired of you being fat and black. Bitch, that's it. It's over with. I'm killing you. What the fuck? No. What you can do is turn your ass around and walk away and never look at me again. And even better, you can go home and check your motherfucking self and ask yourself why you would ever feel it's okay to even act that way towards someone else. You know what I can't. And y'all may be like, much love, you just all over the place with this shit. I ain't trying to hear that shit. Some of y'all might be like, you know what, I think they should riot. Fuck it. Riot every motherfucking word. And you're entitled to your opinion. But I just don't think that this helped anything. It didn't. It helped them to continue. Today, they are still sitting around talking about, look what the motherfucking animals did. Because, see, that's what a lot of them think of us. Like we, savages, animals, this and that and other. Fuck that. Like, this is not cool. The business owners, when the shit went down, bougie, stop. When the shit went down, I didn't hear them say nothing about Family Dollar had something to do with it, but yet Family Dollar got looted. I mean, I'm just saying. I don't get it. So, y'all, that's my thoughts on it. What I'm going to say is we got to pray and try to see what we can, what we can, do to try to help our community and all of that. We really do. Yeah. We got to do our part. So, anywho, y'all, I'm out of here. Y'all, let me know y'all thoughts. Answer that question I asked you for me. I'm asking that, any of my loves that's in St. Louis that may have, that may be there, stay safe. Don't be involved in this. It's another way in which to have your voice heard. Not this. This shit ain't cool at all. So, y'all, on that note, I'm out of here. Much love.